tẹ̀síwájú fọ̀pọ̀ ire àtòhun tó dára ọmọ Oòduà dìde bọ́ sípò ẹ̀tọ́ rẹ. Ìmọ́lẹ̀ gbogbo adúláwọ̀. Shall we pray as we recite the third stanza of the national anthem? O God of creation, grant this one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Amen.
Ètò ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n ti jókòó fún ìpàgọ́ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kọkọ̀dé.
On the State Media Group, talking about Osrc Television, Orange 94.5 FM and Social 96.5 FM, Alalaye. And right now, today, we are live at the Dome in Alagbaka, Akure. And we welcome you to the outside broadcast once again of the 69th National Council of Education, a prestigious national summit that brings together key stakeholders to deliberate on the future of education in Nigeria. And don't forget, the theme for this year's gathering is quality education, data and professionalization of teaching, tools for enhanced national development. And don't you forget the Governor Aiyedati's commitment to quality, accessibility and innovation in education has positioned Ondo State as a model in the Southwest and beyond. So today, don't you worry, you'll get everything, everything going on live from the Dome in Akure. And all we just need you to do is watch our television, talking about Osrc, and also listen to us live on Orange 94.5 FM and on Social 96.5 FM, Alalaye. My name is Oyewumi Ayenigbara. Thank you very much for staying tuned.
That's the lucky man. Also on the top table, may I present to you the Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji. Mr. Speaker, I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. I would like to recognize our August visitor coming in the month of November, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Tunji Alausa, CON. I welcome you to the Sunshine State, sir. Sir, you are welcome. Let me recognize on the top table the Chief of Staff to Mr. Governor, Prince Shegun Omojua. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. I would like to recognize the Head of Service Ondo State, Mr. Bayo Philip. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize the co-host, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology in Ondo State, Professor Egbekele Ajibefun. Prof, I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. I would also like to recognize Mr. Abel Olumuyiwa Eniton, the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize the Chairman of APC in Ondo State, Engineer Ade Adetimei, ably represented by Honorable Festus Aregbe-Shola. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize heads of agencies and parastatals under the Federal Ministry of Education. We all have been recognized earlier on. I would like to recognize commissioners of education from other states. And I will start from Borno State. Let me recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Innovation, Borno State, Alhaji Lawan Abba Walkilbe. Alhaji, I recognize you. From Kaduna State, let me recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Professor Emeritus Abubakar Samuel. Prof, I recognize you. And from Sokoto State, I would like to recognize Professor Isa Mohammed, my shine. I recognize you, Prof. You're welcome. From Ogun State, I would like to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Professor Abayomi Arigbabu. I recognize you, sir. You're welcome. Let me recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Lagos State, Honorable Dr. Sule Tolani. I recognize you, Doctor. From Lagos State, I would like to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Basic Secondary Education, Honorable Jamiu Ali Balogun. I recognize you, Honorable. And from Abia State, I would like to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Tertiary Education, Dr. Idowu Eluwa. I greet you, sir. From Abia State as well, let me recognize the State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Mr. Goodluck Ubochi. I greet you, sir. And from Ekiti State, I would like to recognize the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Industry and Cooperative Services in Ondo State, Pastor Bola Ademuagun. I recognize you, sir. The Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Mr. Laolu Akindolire. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Your Excellency, let me recognize the chairman of SUBEB with us this day, and I will start from the home. The chairman, SUBEB, Ondo State, Right Honorable Victor Adekoye Olabington. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Let me recognize from Ekiti State, Professor Femi Akinwumi Sunday. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. From Ogun State, I would like to recognize Evangelist Ifede Joshua Olalekan. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. And heads of parastatals and agencies under the Federal Ministry of Education, I greet you all, sir. The Registrar and the Chief Executive, Teachers Registration Council, Dr. Mrs. Ronke Shoyombo. I recognize you, ma. Director, CEO, Nigerian French Language Village, Professor Samuel Oladipo Kolawole. Nigerian Education Research and Development Council, I greet the Executive Secretary, Professor Salisu Sheu. Let me recognize from the National Board for Arabic, from SUBEB, from all the 36 states. Let me use Dr. Larry Oyelade and Princess Ademule Gumbrown from Ondo State as a point of respect to all of you. I greet you, sir. Honorable Commissioner for Education, Plateau State, Dr. Mrs. Kashlom Pinyam Gwan. I greet you, ma. You are welcome. Acting Chairman, SUBEB FCT, Dr. Hassan Sule. I greet you. You are welcome, sir. Let me recognize all the directors. Your Excellency, let me recognize the directors from the Federal Ministry of Education. Mrs. Anibo Obianuju, Director, Educational Planning, Research and Development. I greet you. Let me recognize the Director, Basic Education, Dr. Mrs. Olatunji Davis. I would like to recognize the Director, Planning, Mrs. Uzo Juliana. Director, Technology and Science Education, Dr. Mrs. Olodo. I greet you, ma. Director, Education Support Services, Mrs. Ahmed Lanre. And I would like to recognize in our midst Dr. Mohammed Aminu Mohammed, the Registrar, National Business and Technical Education, NAPTEB. I greet you. All the special advisors on the entourage of the Honorable Minister, I recognize and I greet you all. Let me recognize all the permanent secretaries from various ministries of education in the 36 states, all permanent secretaries and administrative officers. I greet you all. You are welcome. Directors, I greet you all. Let me use directors from the Ondo State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology as a point of respect to all the rectors from the 36 states of the State Ministry of Education. You are all welcome. Your Excellency, all of the parts of the protocols are respectfully observed. Today is the opening ceremony of the ministerial session, and I would like to bring to the microphone the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology, Ondo State, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, for the welcome address. Please let's put our hands together for Professor Ajibefun.
Your Excellency, the Governor of ladies and gentlemen, it is with great and immense pleasure that I, on behalf of the Ondo State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, warmly welcome you to all to the 69th edition of the National Council on Education meeting here in the vibrant and hospitable city of Akure, Ondo State. This meeting provides a rare and strategic platform for state and federal policymakers, educators, and experts to deliberate on critical issues and strategies that will shape the trajectory of education in Nigeria. We are truly privileged to host these distinguished leaders and experts whose insight, experience, and commitment continue to elevate the quality of education across our nation. The theme for this year's National Council on Education meeting tagged Quality Education Data and Professionalization of Teaching, Tools for Enhanced National Development, cannot come at a better time than now, given the fact that availability of data is critical to implementing reforms that will enhance the quality of education. Ondo State fully aligns with the federal government's data-driven policy reform in the education sector. Under the visionary leadership of His Excellency, Dr. Lucky Orimisa Ayedatiwa, the governor of Ondo State is proud to share with you the significant reform that is currently being undertaken in the education sector of Ondo State. The Ministry of Education has taken concrete steps to migrate all critical data in our public and private schools in the state to the ministry setting. I urge all participants to actively engage, share innovative ideas, and propose actionable solutions that will translate into tangible improvements across Nigeria's education sector. May this gathering not only inspire dialogue, but also produce practical recommendations that will transform the education sector for generations to come. To our esteemed visitors, I trust you will enjoy the warmth, hospitality, and rich cultural heritage of Ondo State. Beyond the deliberations, I hope you experience the vibrant arts, cultural expressions, and scenic landscape that make our state truly remarkable.
Sir, Okwaku PN, I recognize you, madam. You are welcome. This program is a program of the Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with Ondo State Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, holding here at the International Event Center, the Dome in Akure, and it is the 69th National Council on Education. Your Excellencies, all of the parts of the protocols are respectfully observed. Next on our agenda is the remarks by the Honorable Minister of Education of State for Education, Professor Sueba Said Ahmad. Please let's put our hands together for Prof.
A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. His Excellency, the narrative of education is changing because of the leadership of Dr. Maruf Alausa. Thank you, sir. Our permanent secretary, I call him the Abel Enetan, because really he has been a backbone and supportive pillar for us to realize and implement our initiative in the Ministry of Education. We thank you for that. The Speaker on those stage, the Head of Service, the SSG, we thank you for your hospitality. Directors from the Federal Ministry of Education, we thank you for all your support, but I would like to single out the Director of EPR&D, who is the Secretariat and has been doing a wonderful job. Thank you for all the hard work you've been doing to ensure today is a success. Commissioners of Education, today is your day. Commissioners of Education, Subeb Chairs, Head of tertiary institutions or head of institutions and agencies under the Federal Ministry of Education, we thank you all for being here. Our Royal Father trained them with the skills and knowledge to nurture learners in every possible way for a rapidly evolving world. This is why my presentation on the use of mother tongue or the language of immediate environment to preserve Nigerian languages, enhance foundational learning, create access and retention. To achieve this requires tracking the skill of teachers through strict adherence to the digital portal that is designed to provide a credible database for Nigeria's teachers, streamlining licensing and promoting professionalism in teaching worldwide. The portal had already been launched in Abuja by the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria in partnership with the United Kingdom funded Partnership for Learning for All in Nigeria PLAN program. Distinguished delegates, the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Alausa, CON, is a pivotal figure in Nigeria's quest to transform its education sector. I regard him as a stalwart champion of education, steering efforts that demands innovation, unwavering dedication, and collaboration among all stakeholders. His vision is anchored on establishing credible data systems, a cornerstone for addressing critical challenges. Paramount among these is reducing the alarming number of out-of-school children, a scourge Nigeria seeks to overcome. Currently, there is a pronounced push to expand access to skill acquisition programs in empowering both teachers and learners. This dual focus underscores the minister's holistic approach to elevating Nigeria's education landscape, equipping its populace with tools for growth and participation in a dynamic world. Please join me to give the minister a resounding sound of applause for his initiative. Eminent delegates, let me seize this opportunity to commend the technical teams, development partners, and every stakeholder who has lent their invaluable contributions to shaping and advancing the Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative, NESRI. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that the apex policy-making body governing Nigeria's education sector, NCE, holds a lot of promise for the future of this country. Delegates, our dear nation deserved an educational system that will be a world model. Esteemed delegates, I am confident that the implementation of these approved policies will be utmost in our minds and envisage full cooperation from all delegates while I wish us all fruitful deliberation. Thank you and God bless Nigeria, our cherished homeland.
That was a very beautiful address by the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Sueba Sad Ahmad. Thank you so very much, Prof. May I recognize and amidst this day, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Education, Kano State, Dr. Gwani Ali Abubakar H. Madoka. I greet you. You are welcome. Let me also recognize the Commandant, Nigerian Air Force Education Corps, Air Commodore Babangida Zachary. I recognize you, sir. You're welcome. The Director and Chief Executive of NTI, Professor Sadi Yasani Daura. I greet you, sir. Ably represented by Director, Academic Services Department, Dr. Mrs. Oyedeji Mobolaji Omobola. Let me recognize in our midst the Director General, Ondo State Media Group, Mr. Kenneth Odushola Stevenson. I recognize you, sir. And I will use you, sir, as a point of respect to all top government functionaries in our midst. Let me recognize the chairman of NURTW Ondo State, Comrade Ademola Odudu. I recognize you, sir. You are welcome. Your Excellency, the Honorable Minister, all other parts of the protocols are respectfully observed. I want to bring to the floor now the award-winning Ondo State Cultural Troupe for their cultural display. 5 minutes, please. mo yọ́yọ́ gbé o yọ́yọ́ gbé àbọ̀yìnbó bàyá láwùsá o ọmọ wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àkété yọ́yọ́ gbé o yọ́yọ́ gbé àbọ̀yìnbó mo ìgbó mo tẹ mo mà tẹ́bẹ̀ ìgbó mo tẹ mi mà tẹ́bẹ̀ àwọn ọlọ́gọ́dẹ o àwọn ọjà ẹ̀. ìgbọ́mọ̀tẹ́ mẹ́mọ̀ tẹ́bẹ̀ ìgbọ́mọ̀tẹ́ mẹ́mọ̀ tẹ́bẹ̀ àwọn ọlọ́gọ́dẹ o ọmọjà ẹ̀. ìgbọ́mọ̀tẹ́ mẹ́mọ̀ tẹ́bẹ̀ bá Philip mo kí ẹ níbẹ̀ o ìgbọ́mọ̀tẹ́ mẹ́mọ̀ tẹ́bẹ̀ àwọn ọlọ́gọ́dẹ o ọmọjà ẹ̀. kábíyèsí mo kí ẹ o. ayédàtiwa o mo ìlàjọ òmùrò ìyọgbẹ́nu ọkàn ẹ̀gbà ọmọjàyé wa búlẹ́búlẹ́ jògbòrì mọ́mọ́ òbúrú ọlọ́jà odò aṣọ́mọ́ ìgbẹ́ orí yẹrọ ọmọ bá nírúgba àdókò ọ̀jàgùnjàgùn wòdélé gbàgùn náà dó àkàtà lílẹ̀ borílẹ̀ ó bòrò mi tìyẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ olíbàṣà tìyẹ́lẹ́lẹ̀ olíbàṣà ayédàtiwálẹ̀ olíbàṣà. olómiṣe 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 ayédàtiwá mọ̀ nógun ẹ mọ̀ nógun ẹ nà nógun ẹ mọ̀ nógun bàyá láwùsá o ọmọ wọn lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àkété o àròmísà lẹ́gbẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́ o kábíyèsí mo kí ẹ o ó pìyà ọmọ bíi ẹni fún mọ́ ábà. aládìjí o ẹ̀kí mo gún yá ìjàmọ̀ ọmọ jímọ̀ gògòdè mọ́ mi ọmọ múlà pákọ̀rọ̀ òkú ọmọ múlà méjì ojúṣe yẹ oyó fún ṣẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀ lọ́yẹn bàyàdé mẹ́fun mo mọ̀ kíyà ó báyìí ọmọ ọmọjúwà mo kíyà o ọmọ bàmí fásọ̀rántì mo mọ̀ kíyà náà ní o ẹ̀mọ̀ nógun ẹ̀mọ̀ nógun ẹ̀mọ̀ nógun tẹ̀nà hukú má pa wò mọ́. mọ̀ròyìn ẹja líla ògbé kọ̀ọ̀kan gbọ́n mẹ́ja má pa o ulẹ́lẹ́ jí àgbà ulẹ́lẹ́. pẹpẹ tí yé bá kàkà gbẹgbẹ tí yé gbogbo lọ́wọ́ ká fò lọ.
máa fẹ́ gbọ́ kó fò lọ máa fẹ́ gbọ́ kó fò lọ o máa fẹ́ gbọ́ kó fò lọ máa fẹ́ gbọ́ kó fò lọ o fẹ́ gbọ́ kó fò lọ o ẹ fẹ́ gbọ́ kó lọ o ìjọba ti ṣàwọ̀ 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 àkèkèrè wọn wá ìjọba ti ṣàwọ̀ àkèkèrè wọn wá ìjọba ti ṣàwọ̀ àkèkèrè wọn wá ìjọba ti ṣàwọ̀. bẹ́ẹ̀ yà mọ̀ gbọ́ ewé ìyúgbọ́ ewé ìyúgbọ́ àyẹ̀bẹ̀ mi o yẹ́yẹ́ mọ̀ gbọ́ ewé ìyúgbọ́ àyẹ̀bẹ̀ mi o yẹ́yẹ́ mọ̀ gbọ́ yàgbé mi o yàgbé mi o yàgbé mi o ìgbà bàbá ọ̀sánwó o akọ́lábọ̀jà jẹ́ ayédàtiwa ìgbà bàbá ọ̀sánwó o akọ́lábọ̀jà jẹ́ ìgbà bàbá ọ̀sánwó o akọ́lábọ̀jà jẹ́ bọ́ọ̀lù ṣeré àwọn olè sanwó ní bọ́ọ̀dẹ̀ ó di lọ. ẹ̀yọ́ o ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ́ o ayé ilé ẹ̀yọ́ o ẹ̀yọ́ bàbá ń ta wá tó fi góòlù ṣeré ẹ̀yọ́ bàbá ń ta wá tó fi góòlù ṣeré. ẹ má gbé wá lálejò mọ́ ẹ má gbé wá lálejò mọ́ ẹ má gbé wá lálejò mọ́ wó wò wó 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 wò wó alùmọ̀lùmọ̀lùmọ̀lùmọ̀ jára o lùmọ̀lùmọ̀lùmọ̀lùmọ̀ jára o mọ̀lùmọ̀lùmọ̀lùmọ̀ jára o ọlọ́bàmọ̀ba 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 ọmọba ọlọ́bàmọ̀ba ọlọ́bàmọ̀ba ọmọba ọlọ́bàmọ̀ba ọlọ́bàmọ̀ba nínú mẹ́pẹ́ àṣà òye ẹ̀yà gbẹ̀yẹ̀bò àṣà òye àṣà òye ẹ̀yà gbẹ̀yẹ̀bò àṣà òye ẹ̀yà gbẹ̀yẹ̀bò àṣà òye nùgú ẹ̀yẹ òye ẹ̀yẹ òye àlùkò ẹ̀yẹ ọ̀tá gúnugú ẹ̀yẹ òye àlùkò ẹ̀yẹ ọ̀sà.
Thank you so very much. The award-winning Ondo State Cultural Troupe. We appreciate. May I recognize the Director, CEO, Nigerian Arabic Language Village, Ngala, Professor Ibrahim Muhammad. Prof, I recognize you. We have Dr. Gentu E. Emela, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Bayelsa State, ably represented by Ogbara Famnene Faith, Director, PRS, Ministry of Education, Bayelsa State. I recognize you and you are welcome. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to bring to the microphone the Honorable Minister of Education, the performing Minister of Education, Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, CON, for his keynote address.
Please be seated, please. Thank you, the band team. It's really a beautiful day. But let me begin by thanking the person that made this possible, really, for us today, beyond God. My dearest brother, the executive governor of Ondo State, the Sunshine State, Dr. Lucky Oremison Ayedatiwa. Thank you for your service to the people of Ondo State, and more importantly, people of Nigeria. In the last few hours I've been here, I've confirmed my own vindication. At least I was vindicated. Expansive, extensive infrastructure development in Ondo State. Peace and tranquility. The leadership you've brought to this state is second to none. You are a performing governor. You are an asset to the people of Ondo State, our party, and the nation. I thank you and I congratulate the people of Ondo State for having one of the best governors in Nigeria. Thank you, my dear brother. And also to the Speaker, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji, you manage the legislature. Thank you for supporting my dearest brother, and making his job seamless. Thank you, Right Honorable Olamide Oladiji. And everyone knows the way I feel about a amiable, a able, a highly cerebral Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Sir Tuebat Ahmad. She's extremely granular, frontal, intelligent, and the kind of diligence she brings to her job is second to none. The Ministry of Education and the entire education system in Nigeria has never had it so good. Thank you, Professor Suwebat Ahmad. You wake up, you sleep, everything about what you do in a single day is about getting the best education for every Nigerian child. The country appreciates it, and the president, our father, our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, appreciates all your hard work. Thank you so much. And to the driver, the engine room, the person that pushes us to do what we do every day. Our permanent secretary, Mr. Abel Eniton, I can't thank you enough. Thank you, thank you. And to Dr. Taiwo, the secretary to the state government of Ondo State, thank you. You've made this so possible. You've worked behind the scene. We appreciate you. The chief of staff to the governor, the head of service. And let me acknowledge the members of Ondo State Executive Council. I'll use Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, a second host, as a point of reference. Thank you, Honorable Commissioner for Education for Ondo State, Professor Ajibefun. To all our commissioners that are here from the 36 states of the Federation as well as Federal Capital Territory. This is one of our major work, the National Council of Education. I thank you for coming out in droves, in numbers, to be physically present here today. I can't begin to acknowledge the work you do at each of your various states. The way we collaborate more, the speed at which we are delivering our transformative agenda to every nook and corner of Nigeria. Thank you so much. And as well as the permanent secretaries from all our states and the Federal Capital Territory, the head of agencies that are here, and the heads of all our tertiary institutions as well. And I would use the director, a Federal Ministry of Education Director of Education, Research, Policy and Development, Ms. Anigbogu, as a point of reference to all our directors that are here from the Federal Ministry of Education. She's made this possible. Mrs. Anigbogu, thank you for all your work and making the National Council of Education a reality. The quality of work that has gone behind the scene today, the deliberations we'll be having in the next 2 to 3 days have been made possible by the technical working team. And this is going to be my second National Council of Education. It's just amazing, the level of work, the diligence that has been brought forward with the memos that I'll be considering today. And also, I'd like to recognize Imperial Majesty, the Olowo of Owo, Ọba Ajibade Gbadegesin, Adé apẹ́ lórí o, bàtà apẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀ o, ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ yẹn máa pọ̀ sí ni o, ẹ ṣé gan ni o, ẹ kú àdúró ti gómìnà wa o, ẹ kú bẹ ṣe ń bá wa mú lò tó ń tò tó ń dùn, bọ́lọ́run ṣe ń gbà yìí lọ́lọ́run máa gbà lọ o. Lórí yín mo fi recognize gbogbo àwọn ọba ní Ìrèkò, Àtòdé àti ìlú, ẹ ṣé gan ni o, kábíyèsí, Adé apẹ́ lórí o. And also, all the SUBEB chairmen that are here today, and our host, SUBEB chairman for Ondo State, all the head of security agencies that are here, our development partners, both bilateral and multilateral. We can't thank you enough for your service, for your interest, and the work you all continue to do to support our educational system. We sincerely thank you, and we're very appreciative. We don't take the advices, the suggestions that you give us, we don't take them for granted. But there'll be a few instances, 2-3% of the time, that we have divergence of opinion. It's not because we don't appreciate you, but that's bound to happen in any civil and democratic engagement. But we appreciate you all the time. To the future of our country, our students, our youth that are here today, you have a president in the president of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that has your back. The president believes so much in you. The president says it all the time. You are the heartbeat of our society, and you're the future of our society. What you can rest be assured is that we will continue to work day and night at the federal level, at the subnational level, and at the local government level to give you the best education that is comparable to anywhere in the world. Members of the press, invited gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply honored to welcome you all to the 69th National Council on Education ministerial session here in Akure, Ondo State, the Sunshine State. Let me repeat, it's really the Sunshine State. I think the governor and the people of Ondo State deserve a big round of applause. It's a privilege to preside over this meeting of the highest policy-making body in education, which brings together the nation's foremost policymakers and technocrats to shape the future of education in Nigeria. Permit me once again to express my profound appreciation to His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Dr. Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, for graciously hosting this meeting and for his remarkable achievement in the education sector. Let me equally thank the government of Ebonyi State and Delta State, ably led by their excellencies, Governor Franz Nwifuru and Right Honorable Sheriff Obovowori, for hosting the 2025 JCCE reference committees and the 84 plenary meetings respectively. Let me welcome most sincerely the Honorable Commissioners for Education from the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, the permanent secretaries as well, Federal Ministry of Education across our state, directors, chief executives of agencies. I also welcome the permanent secretaries and delegates of and other stakeholders across the Federation who participated in the official session of the 69th NCE meeting. As we are all aware, it is the recommendations from the official sessions that will form the main working document for the Council. I also acknowledge with gratitude the local organizing committees and the good people of Ondo State for their excellent arrangement and warm hospitality. The theme of the 69th National Council on Education is apt and germane. Quality education, data, and professionalization of teaching. Tools for enhanced national development. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we live in an era where data drives decisions and professionalism determines outcomes. Nigeria education sector must evolve accordingly, aligning itself with the global knowledge economy and the renewed hope agenda of our President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Education is not merely a social service. It's a strategic investment. It is the foundation of economic growth, social cohesion, and national stability. Quality education data and professionalized teaching are twin pillars on which sustainable national development rests. Data and digitalization, building an insight-driven education system. Data is the compass of reform. Without it, systems operate in darkness, unable to identify gaps, measure progress, or design effective solutions. And I'm being guided on a day-by-day basis by what our president said about data. I have it written by the side of my chair. I look at it every day. Our president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, says, without data, it's like you are flying blind. Without data, it's like you're flying blind. So to address this, the Federal Executive Council in February 2025 approved the appointment of a concessionaire and a joint venture partner for the financing, development, and operation of the National Education Repository and Data Bank System. The NERD system is envisioned as a flagship central digital bank for the education sector, for the collection, organization, coordination, distribution, preservation, and verification of Nigeria intellectual and academic output and credentials from our tertiary education system. Two of the new applications are now being utilized nationwide for the ongoing onboarding process for certificate verification and dissertation digitization, following the enforcement circular issued by the Secretary to the federal government. The National Credential Verification System assigning certificate, a national credential number, and a secure QR code accessible via a dedicated website for credential verification. The other service is the National Academic Document Digitization Service for archiving and commercialization of these dissertations. These innovations are transforming the integrity of our education system, eliminating certificate fraud, ending the menace of honor abuse, plagiarism, and academic dishonesty, while promoting transparency and global recognition of Nigerian credential. We also now have a platform, Digitized Nigeria Education Information System, acronym DNEMIS. For the first time, we now have a digitized NEMIS in the history of our country. All schools in the country are listed, both government and private, each being geo-mapped. We have a standardized national school register. Various states will be trained on how to use this register to register new students, new schools. We have a new National Learner Identification System software that has been developed and is currently being tried out in Kano. I see the commissioner for Kano here as well. This is in preparation to rolling out the module in collaboration with NIMSI. Upon validation of the software, a central data repository will be established to be integrated with a National Identity Management Commission. This will ensure that every learner from basic to tertiary education level is digitally captured, tracked, and verified. 21 states, I'm happy to report that 21 states have started uploading their data into the Dynamis platform, and at various stages and they are at various stages of completion. We urge other states to upload their data as well. But we're determined that by the year 2026, all annual school census will be digitally entered. 2025 is the last year of manual annual school census. In addition, our Federal Quality Assurance Department has been digitized, and as well as UBEC, as part of our efforts to continue to promote our effective digitization agenda. All structure of our education system will be digitized as well. From the foundational learning sector, the Federal Education Quality Assurance Department has digitized the national instrument for monitoring, evaluation, and grading of basic and secondary schools. UBEC has developed and deployed a web-based Android app for managing basic education data. At the senior secondary school level, we're also deploying the use of computer-based testing for our West African examination, a West African Council examination, and NECO. By 2026, come April, May, WAEC will be done CBT, via CBT. June, July, NECO will be CBT as well. We need to do this to completely eradicate fraud in our exam system, because it will let the pervasive environment that we have, where we have leakages of WAEC and NECO, continue. We're disenfranchising even the good students. So, we have a responsive Federal Ministry of Education, and we're collaborating actively with all our subnational governments in this agenda. At the tertiary education level, JAMB has also introduced innovation such as the automated result ranking. Today, any of our wards that gets their JAMB result, even if you get 350 over 400, it will tell you the position you are at amongst the 2 million plus that did the exams. And this helps us more so as parents. We just look at the absolute numbers, but we're not mindful of what other people, other students across the country also got. And when we now say cut-off point, university says cut-off point of 350, we all believe and we think that 350, once you get 350, you've entered for that course. No, it just puts you as one of the students to be considered. JAMB has also introduced QR-coded syllabuses, automated ranking of UTME results, security of digital channels for accepting admissions, creation of a marketplace for undersubscribed institutions to connect with prospective students. This is a big innovation, because at the moment, we're not lacking in numbers of tertiary institutions, universities, polytechnics, colleges of education. We have the access. What we are lacking now is to create that capacity. And we're doing everything assiduously to do this. JAMB has also launched the Nigerian Integrated Post-Secondary Education Data System to authenticate direct entry qualifications. They're also doing mandatory NI-linked registrations and deployment of QR codes to access our e-brochures. They're providing financial and logistical support to persons with disabilities, and have established 11 adopter centers nationwide to ease their participation for people with disability. As we advance our education transformative agenda, We're mindful that we have disabled people in the country, and we will continue to do everything humanly possible to accommodate them and give them the access to education, high quality education that they deserve. We're developing an internet exchange point for education where all education tools such as Inspire, Ignite, and other teachers' training materials will be available for free. And I'm happy to report that deserves a big round of applause. I'm happy to report today that I've instructed the Executive Secretary of UBEC to work with all our SUBEB chairmen for government to start paying the registration, the license fees for all public school teachers. Together with our telco partners, we're providing free data for our teachers on their teacher professional development platforms, enabling them to have quality internet-based professional development content at no cost. We have been using various platforms such as radios, televisions, mobile apps, and digital classrooms to expand access to learning, thus preparing Nigerians for active participation in the global digital economy. Now, about professionalizing teaching, restoring dignity and excellence to the most important profession in any society, and more so, our own society. The most important profession is teaching. We're going to bring, and we're working day and night to bring glory, dignity back to the teaching profession. A nation cannot rise above the quality of its teachers. Recognizing this, we have reviewed the National Teachers Policy to set clear standards for pre-service and in-service training, professional development, and career advancement. In line with the renewed agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the ministry, through the Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria, TRCN, has embraced digital transformation as a core strategy and improved its professional qualifying exams mechanisms. The TRCN has been digitized, simplifying registrations, examinations, and license renewal processes. The upgraded test taker system now allows more candidates to sit for the professional qualifying exam simultaneously. The remodeled TRCN portal and the strategic vision were also recently successfully unveiled for Nigerian teachers to enable educators across the country and even Nigerians abroad to seamlessly register, check professional qualifying exam results, and renew their licenses. The portal has also significantly reduced administrative bottlenecks and also significantly improved transparency, making it easier for qualified teachers to engage with the council and maintain professional compliance. This portal also integrates ethics verification, and criminal record checks, ensuring that only competent and morally sound teachers remain in our classroom. Our students deserve the best teachers with the highest level of etiquette. To further assist our teachers in their professional development, over 60,000 digital tablets have been distributed to facilitate continuous teachers training, data collection, and professional learning. We're working on distributing another 40,000 tablets to our teachers in the next few months. We have done zero-rated data for teacher professional development with regards to our online content, which has now been digitized, and UBEC has been directed to work with all our suburbs, as I said, to pay public and junior secondary TRCN license fee. In continuation of our digital drive, the National Commission for Colleges of Education has also launched capacity building workshops for English and mathematics teachers and introduced AI-driven pedagogy. The ministry has also developed a comprehensive framework to implement the dual mandate introduced by the Federal Colleges of Education Act of 2023 and signed into law by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. This mandate empowers our Federal Colleges of Education to concurrently offer National Certificate of Education and degree program, Bachelors of Education. This has taken up, the dual mandate has taken off in all our Federal College of Education from this 2025-26 academic year. We're expecting it to fully take off in all our state colleges of education and private colleges of education by September 2026 as well. We've mandated NUC to do the resource verification expeditiously for our state and private colleges of education. Let me talk about curriculum reform and language policy. Honorable members of Council, in line with ministry deliverables, we have pursued vigorously the review of basic and senior secondary education curricula, aligning them with skills needed in the labor market and the 21st century competencies in literacy, numeracy, digital skills, entrepreneurship, and citizenship education. The learner preparation in this contest is broad-based, covering science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and mathematics and sciences. I'm happy to report to you that we have achieved through this completion of review of the new revised basic education curriculum. The target in this is to ensure that learning is more focused, meaningful, streamlined, and engaging. Most importantly, distinguished members of the Council, these reforms are underpinned by the National Language Policy, which now stipulates that English shall be the language of instruction in all schools at all levels. The policy discussion we will robustly discuss this at the Council and will come up with a decision. But I'm imploring Council members to open your heart to the discussions. Let's look at the data of this mother tongue language, the effects we're seeing, either positive or negative, in the geopolitical zones of the country that has adopted this fully. And also we'll be mindful to remind everyone that this mother tongue language policy has not been adopted in 4 of our 6 geopolitical zones. We will discuss other sessions on what we need to do, if this is working or not working. But if we review all the data and we know it's not working, I'm imploring Council members, let us remove emotions and do the right thing for each Nigerian child. With regards to our accelerated basic education program, distinguished delegates, one of our flagship non-formal intervention is the accelerated basic education program, approved by this council at its 64th meeting held in Port Harcourt in November 2019. The ABEP provides flexible pathway for out-of-school children, youth, and adults to attain foundational literacy, numeracy, and life skills equivalent to formal basic education. Its curriculum is integrated with skills training framework developed by the National Board for Technical Education, ensuring that learners acquire both academic and vocational competencies. This initiative demonstrates a commitment to inclusive education, enabling learners to transition into formal schools, technical institutions, or gainful employment, thus bridging the divide between learning and livelihood. Let me talk about out-of-school children and inclusive learning. The ministry, in its fulfillment of its mandate to identify, document, and reintegrate our out-of-school children into mainstream education system, the ministry has set up a task force comprising the National Commission for Emergency and Out-of-School Children Education, the National Commission for Nomadic Education, the National Commission for Mass Literacy and Formal Education, to document the extent of the problem. With the support of UBEC, this task force has now mapped out 1 million children of various ages from about 13,000 communities across the country. The initial data we're seeing would indicate that today, beyond the labeling that is being given to us, that Nigeria has the highest number of out-of-school children, and based on the data that you want to believe about the labeling that has been given to us, 15 million out-of-school children, 20 million out-of-school children. But I can report to you, not with full 100% evidence, but we're using data now. I don't believe we have 15 million out-of-school children. And the reason, and the reason is that we're going to communities now, geomapping these out-of-school children, using their biometrics, mapping them to where they live, using biometric data. Where in some states, some southeastern states, we're finding it difficult to find out-of-school children. We've embarked on this. So far, we've done 1 million, but now, as we integrate this digitized platform, biometric data, at the end of it all, we'll be able to now report to the world the exact number of out-of-school children that we have. Data that anyone in the world can come and validate, review, data that is truthful and biometric proven. That is why we have to take our own destiny into our hand. It's called data sovereignty, and not just estimated data that we have this tag, that we have the highest number of out-of-school children. And let me clarify myself, I don't have full evidence now, but in the next several months, succeeding months, we'll be able to tell you that the exact number of out-of-school children. And we'll open that database to the world to come and validate. There'll be data that is that can be validated, trusted, and biometric linked. Efforts have been concluded to put these children back to school. For instance, we're listing children between the age of 6 to 9 years into low-cost private school. Others will be enrolled in schools and training centers in collaboration with the Emergency Commission. This marked the first ever large-scale digital effort to identify and reintegrate out-of-school children. For instance, over 21,000 out-of-school children across major nooks and crannies in the Federal Capital City of Abuja were identified several months ago, and these students were handed over to the FCT Education Secretariat for onward enrollment. We've also identified many more students in other areas, and that's why we're now engaging for the first time in the history of our education system. We're engaging a private sector, private schools, low-cost school. Government is partnering with them to help us with these out-of-school children. We will pay them on a per capita basis. We've modeled the cost. We've identified these schools. We've geo-mapped these students to the closest private schools so that these schools will provide feeding, accommodation, school instruction, instructional materials, and school for them. So in terms of expanding access and equity, under the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, AJAR, one of our biggest World Bank development credits, over 580,000 girls have received scholarship, and nearly 100,000 have been trained in life skills. I'm happy to report that in just 6 months, the ministry has built, in collaboration with all our suburbs, we've built over 5,000 classrooms, renovated 3,000 classrooms, and established 34 model schools, benefiting 2.3 million learners nationwide. This effort reflects our unwavering commitment to ensuring that no Nigerian child is left behind in having access to quality education. We've also developed several new policies. Some of them we approved at our 68th Emergency National Council of Education. Some of those policies will be deliberated on at this 69th National Council of Education. I'm going to list some of the policies. Document number 1, National Guidelines for Entry Requirement into Tertiary Institutions in Nigeria. Number 2, Guidelines for Establishment of New Tertiary Institutions. Number 3, Operational Guidelines for Teachers Registration Council of Nigeria. Number 4, Operational Guidelines for National Teachers Institute. Number 5, Operational Guidelines for WAEC, NAPTEP, NECO, and BIAS to teacher licensing by Teacher Registration Council of Nigeria. Number 6, List of subjects and offerings in new basic education curriculum and senior basic education curriculum. Number 7, new UBEC intervention formula. Some of these have been discussed at the last meeting. Some of them will be discussed. Others will be discussed at this meeting. And let me go over our educational projects and interventions. In regards, the ministry has taken the following step: the upward review of PhD, Masters, undergraduate, and NCE scholarship allowance. We've also added special scholarship for students undergoing science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences, as well as vocational courses. We've doubled the amount of scholarship that we're giving them. Through the Diaspora Bridge Program, Nigeria has been linked with global experts to strengthen STEM education. In the same vein, 18 medical schools are being upgraded as we speak, as part of our first phase to double admission capacity in medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, and nursing. This is being done to address the chronic manpower shortage in the healthcare sector. To further ameliorate this problem, 2 new Federal University of Health Sciences have been established, one in Safe, Zamfara State, the other in Abeokuta, Ogun State. Also, a special World Bank Ideas Intervention Fund was released to renovate and equip workshops and laboratories in our technical colleges, all our federal technical colleges, and we identified several state technical colleges as well to benefit from these World Bank credit. And I can report all the rehabilitation and the building of new workshop have been completed. In pursuance of better welfare for lecturers, both for academic lecturers in our various institutions as well as non-academic staff, we rolled out the TIPS, Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund, was introduced. This was announced, launched in August, and I can report to you today, just in 4 months, people, beneficiaries, have started receiving their money, the loan, the interest-free amount. We just had a ceremony at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, earlier on today, where we handed over ceremonial check to the beneficiaries of that institution. We've also, we had 33,000 applications for the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund. We approved about 9,000, which gives a percentage of almost 30%. And also, when we looked at the breakdown of academic and non-academic, of the 9,000, 30% were academic staff and 70% non-academic staff, which just reflects the population in a tertiary institution. Promoting technical and vocational education, TVET, through a digital TVET platform. Over 1.3 million Nigerians applied. We verified 970,000. And today, I can report to you that the first cohort of 250,000 students have started training. Each of these students will get 22,000 monthly stipend. The skill training centers, the vocational enterprise institutions training them will be paid 45,000 naira per student. So figure, if you have a skill training center training 300 students, that's about almost 13 million that they will get. We're doing this to help rebuild the value chain in a technical, vocational education and training sector. We've also reduced the trades that we're training in our TVET program as well as our technical colleges from about 96 to 26 relevant skills, relevant trades, which include mechanized agriculture, livestock farming, solar photovoltaic installation and maintenance, fashion design and garment making, hospitality training, amongst others. I'm also happy to announce that our inter-university centers, namely the National Mathematical Center, National Board for Arabic and Islamic Studies, the Nigerian First Language Village, and the Nigeria Arabic Language Village, are now benefiting from TED Fund intervention grant. This will put these 4 institutions on a sound financial footing to fulfill their individual mandate now and into the future. To conclude, distinguished council members, education is a heartbeat of development, the most powerful weapon for national renewal. And let me quote what I learned and heard from the governor earlier on today. No doubt, we're building a knowledge economy. That's what our Nigeria Education Sector Renewal Initiative is all about. The governor said it's on a tripod: education, information technology, and skill. That's what you need to leapfrog any society into the global age. And that's exactly what we're doing in Nigeria now. And I'll use this opportunity to really thank all our governors across our 36 states of the Federation, as well as the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Our collaboration at the national level with our subnational government has been so good. We're delivering results now, not because we're pushing, but this is about collaboration. Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm using you as a point of reference to your colleague at the National Nigerian Governor Forum. And we promise you this collaboration will continue, and we'll continue to engage you. We will do everything in full consultation with you. As we deliberate at this 69th National Council on Education, let us reaffirm our collective resolve to build an education system that is data-driven, professionally anchored, inclusive, and globally competitive. A system that embodies the renewed hope agenda of our dear President, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR. Let us ensure that every Nigerian child, from the remotest village in Bayelsa to the largest city in Kano, receives quality education that empowers, uplifts, and transforms. Thank you for your attention. God bless Ondo State, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
God bless you as well, sir. That was a very beautiful and comprehensive address by Dr. Maruf Tunji Alausa, CON, the Honorable Minister of Education. We thank you so much, sir. We are still at the 69th National Council on Education, the highest policy-making body on education in Nigeria, gathering of intellectuals. It is the program of the Federal Ministry of Education in collaboration with Ondo State Ministry of Science and Technology, holding at the International Culture and Event Center, the DOE in Akure, Ondo State. Let me recognize Professor Musa Garba, my TAFSA, Executive Secretary, National Commission for Adult and Non-Formal and Mass Literacy. We also have the Kogi State Commissioner for Education, represented by Dr. Animoku Elizabeth. Let me recognize Dr. Kingsley Ashibogu, Delta State Commissioner for Primary Education, Professor Njevo Tonukare, Commissioner for Higher Education, Delta State, Dr. Hanawa Rufus Isaiah, representing the Commissioner for Education, Adamawa State. I would also like to recognize Honorable Dikpo Iluwole, Commissioner for Education, Osun State, Honorable Olusegun Olaiwola, Commissioner for Education, Oyo State, the Permanent Secretary, SUBEB, Mr. Wale Omomowo, the Administrative Secretary, Minister of Education, Ondo State, Dr. Akindele Ige. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, may I invite the captain of our ease, the governor of Ondo State, His Excellency, Dr. Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa, for his address to as
gómìnà wa
well
ó ti ń bọ̀ láti wá bá wa náà sọ̀rọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé yóò sọ̀rọ̀ yẹn náà ni gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ọ̀mọ̀wé Lucky Orimisan Ayedatiwa láti ṣí ìdíje àpérò àwọn tó jẹ́ wípé nípa ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kọkàndín ní àádọ́rin rẹ̀.
Thank you. You may have your seats. Thank you. We give thanks to Almighty God that has made this day possible for all of us to be here, alive and in health. Some of you have been here a day now, traveled from far distance, and you arrived safely, and some just arrived this morning. To God alone be all the glory. Mr. Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, I acknowledge your presence in our midst. Thank you so much for being here. Let me greet specially and welcome the Honorable Minister of Education, my brother, my friend, Dr. Tunji Alausa. You are welcome to Ondo State. I thank you for the good job you are doing in that ministry. Since you have been redeployed from Minister of State for Health into Ministry of Education, I've been monitoring and tracking your records. Well done. I'd like to also acknowledge my sister. She referred to me as her brother earlier on, that since I'm brother to Honorable Minister Dr. Tunji Alausa, By extension, I'm also her brother. So she's my sister. Professor Suhaiba Said Ahmad, Honorable Minister of State of Education. Thank you for the support, for the synergy between you and my brother. Earlier on, he said I should thank you for the support you've been giving to him in achieving so much in this ministry. Dr. Taiwo Fasuranti, Secretary to the State Government of Ondo State, I acknowledge your presence. Mr. Bayo Phillips, the Head of Service, Prince Shegun Omojua, the Chief of Staff. My co-host, the Honorable Commissioner for Education, Ondo State, Professor Igbekele Ajibefun, I acknowledge your presence and thank you for the good job you're also doing in our Ministry of Education, Science and Technology so that we can be in line with what is happening at the federal level. Thank you so much. All other Executive Council members that are here in your large number, I acknowledge your presence as well. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Education, Mr. Abel Lumuyiwa Eniton, I acknowledge your presence. Thank you also as the engine room of that ministry at the federal level, supporting the minister, the political head. Thank you so much. All the other directors of the Federal Ministry of Education, the various state commissioners of education that are here from across the nation. Thank you so much for being part of this meeting, this council meeting, the highest body for policy formulation for our educational system in Nigeria. I welcome every one of you. I recognize in your large number. All of you have been introduced earlier on by your names and your states. So permit me to adopt that list of all of you that are here. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me also acknowledge our KBC, the chairman, Ondo State Council of Oba, His Imperial Majesty Oba Dr. Ajibade Gbadigesin, the Ogunye III, the Olowo KBC. Thank you for joining us. The award-winning cultural troupe, I recognize you, all the students that from the band supporting us with music. You all recognize the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is with a great pleasure and a deep sense of honor that I, on behalf of the government and good people of Ondo State, warmly welcome all of you, distinguished participants and critical stakeholders in the Nigeria education sector, to the Sunshine State on this occasion of your 69th National Council on Education NC meeting. Let me express my profound gratitude to the Almighty God for granting every one of us journey mercies from the various destinations. The National Council on Education remains the highest policy-making body in Nigeria's education sector. It represents the final stage in the cycle of education policy formulation and implementation, reflecting the bottom-up approach to governance and participatory decision-making, which is the hallmark of modern public administration. It is particularly gratifying for me that this 69th National Council on Education meeting is taking place here in Akure, Ondo State. Our as a state is renowned for its unbroken legacy of educational excellence, innovation, and commitment to human capital development. Our people have long understood the essence of education, that it remains the most reliable instrument for social mobility, national cohesion, and sustainable development. From the pioneering free education policy of the old Western region to our present-day investment in digital learning, teacher welfare, and school infrastructure, Ondo State has always been the trailblazer, and it continues to stand tall as a beacon of quality education and responsible governance in Nigeria. At this juncture, I must commend the visionary leadership of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his renewed commitment to advancing quality education and human capital development across Nigeria. I salute his vision and policy reforms in the education sector, most especially the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, which has provided financial assistance to more than 624,000 Nigerian students in our public tertiary institutions. This financial support for our students, this is commendable effort of Mr. President, has gone a long way in reducing disparity in access to quality education between both the children of the rich and the non-rich. In the same vein, I want to particularly acknowledge the Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Alausa, CON, and the Honorable Minister of State for Education, Professor Suaba Said Ahmad, for their dynamic leadership and steadfast pursuit of educational excellence through innovation, accountability, and inclusivity. And these inclusivities can be seen in various commissions set up to achieve this. For example, National Commission for Al-Majaris, the National Commission for Nomadic Education, the National Commission for Mass Literacy and Non-Formal Education, so that everybody will have opportunity to have education. Don't forget AGAL project for adolescent girls. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and all our delegates, the theme of this year's meeting, which is quality education, data, and professionalization of teaching, tools for enhanced national development, is very apt, timely, and profoundly relevant. It speaks directly to the contemporary challenges confronting the Nigerian education system and offers a clear roadmap for reforms. And in fact, these reforms have started with the federal government's renewed focus on transforming education through data-driven planning, digital innovation, teachers' professionalization, in alignment with the global education framework, such as the UNESCO Education 2030 Agenda and Sustainable Development Goal 4. Ondo State is proud to be fully aligned with these objectives, ensuring that no learner is left behind. Quality education data is the foundation of every effective education system. Policymakers rely on accurate, reliable, and up-to-date data as source of information to make informed decisions, allocate resources efficiently, and plan strategically. With dependable data, we can track progress, evaluate interventions, and identify areas requiring improvement. This enables us to optimize available resources, reduce disparities, and ensure that every learner receives quality and functional education. And the Nigerian Digital Education Information System that has been set up will go a long way to help in this direction. The state also, we are aligning in the same direction with the federal government. From what the Honorable Minister said, that about 21 states has already been uploading data into the database for processing. Therefore, it is incumbent on all stakeholders to collaborate in building data-driven educational ecosystem that promotes excellence, equity, and innovation. Teaching, as we all know, is one of the oldest, most noble professions known to humanity. But sadly, this noble profession, before now, in Nigeria, has been unable to receive the recognition and respect it truly deserves. Too often, it is regarded as a last resort when other career option fails. Those who could not get white-collar jobs sometimes, then they say they will go and get a teaching job. That was then. Things are changing now. This perception must change, and it has changed. We must collectively restore the dignity of the teaching profession by elevating its standards, enhance welfare for the teachers, rewarding merit, and ensuring continuous professional growth. The federal government has started well by giving financial support to lecturers and teachers in the various tertiary institutions. And just this morning at FUTA, Federal University of Technology, Akure, it was flagged off the support, financial support that the federal government has packaged for tertiary institutions. Thank you very much. For us, even in the state, we have the Teaching Service Commission, and one of their functions, that is TESCOM, one of their functions is teachers' welfare, which we are funding adequately so that they can also take care of our teachers. Our administration in Ondo State recognizes that education is a cornerstone of meaningful and sustainable development. Consequently, the provision of quality education remains a top priority of this government. We are firmly committed to ensuring access to free, functional, and affordable education at the primary and secondary levels across the state. With a projected population exceeding 5 million, Ondo State currently boasts of about 1,282 public primary schools, 315 public secondary schools, 946 approved private nursery and primary schools, 556 approved private secondary schools, 5 government technical colleges, 2 private innovation centers, 3 private technical colleges, 4 state government special schools, 3 state-owned universities, 1 state-owned polytechnic, 1 federal university of education, 1 federal polytechnic, 1 federal college of agriculture, 1 state-owned school of health technology, 2 private schools of health technology, and 4 private universities. This expansion has naturally led to a growing demand for free and quality educational services. Meeting these obligations requires substantial financial commitment. Since our absorption as government, we have embarked on a massive reconstruction and renovation of public schools infrastructure across the state. We also initiated strategic collaborations with international development partners and other stakeholders to reposition our education sector for greater impact. In the same vein, this administration is equally investing in digital education infrastructure, including the gradual introduction of smart classrooms, digital literacy programs, and technology-based learning tools to prepare our learners for the demands of the 21st century knowledge economy. Just as I mentioned earlier on, as quoted also by Honorable Minister, the big economy of the world today is being driven on knowledge economy, or is being regarded as knowledge economy. And there are three basic tools in driving knowledge economy, which is education, information technology, and skill. This is very, very important for our educational system in Nigeria. The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology is also promoting science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and medical sciences. Technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics STEM initiative to enhance innovation and creativity among our students. Furthermore, we have prioritized teachers' welfare, training and retraining to ensure professional excellence and improved learning outcomes. We know that teachers are the cornerstone of nation building. I was once a teacher, and they must be motivated, empowered, and adequately rewarded. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, under my leadership, the state government has recorded significant strides in reshaping the educational landscape of Ondo State, in line with our policy thrust, christened our E's, and the last E being education, human capital development, and entrepreneurship. This policy thrust aligns with the resolution of the National Council on Education and the Sustainable Development Goal 4, ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education for all. And some of our notable achievements in the educational sector includes, but not limited to, the following. 1, annual payment of West African School Certificate Examination and NAPTEP registration fee for eligible students to ease financial burden on their parents. 2, recruitment, training, and deployment of over 2,100 teachers to our public schools. 3, continuous training of teachers on modern pedagogies and digital literacy. 4, procurement of over 8,000 learners' desks and 6,000 teachers' furniture for basic schools. 5, renovation and construction of classrooms, laboratories, libraries, and offices across all the 3 senatorial districts of the state. We also support and believe in the 3 domains of education: cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Hereby we distribute sport equipment to basic schools, provision of over 75,000 textbooks and library resources in core subjects, payment of counterpart funds of up to 2024 access to access UBEC-SUBEB grants. We are one of the leading states in fulfilling that. establishment of a youth skill development center in Akure with ICT-based training, regular payments of salaries, pension, and gratuity to serving and retired teachers, payment of bursary, scholarships award, and financial assistance to students of Ondo State origin. Just yesterday, we flagged off the distribution of bursary and financial assistance to our students. Introduction of free school shuttle buses, upland and boats for students in the Riverland area across the state. Among many other things that we are doing for our educational system here in Ondo State. In conclusion, I wish to sincerely thank the National Council on Education for granting Ondo State the honor and privilege of hosting this 69th edition. And I'm confident that your deliberations will be insightful, innovative, and informative, leading to far-reaching reforms in Nigeria's education sector. Together, we can reposition education as the true engine of national progress and prosperity in Nigeria. We shall continue to forge partnerships that support inclusive, quality, and transformative learning opportunity for all. Just as the Honorable Minister said, that we always meet together as governors at the Nigeria Governors Forum. We are partnering together, the national and the subnational, and that is the only way we can get the best for our people. The students, or the schools if you like, they are domiciled in the state, not only in Abuja. And the Honorable Minister sits in Abuja, formulating the policies that will be implemented at the state. Don't you think we need that collaboration? And that is the way to go. So I want to thank you for the collaboration for carrying the subnationals along. Once again, I warmly welcome you to Ondo State, the Sunshine State where hospitality knows no bound. I wish you fruitful deliberation as you continue in your sessions and an enjoyable stay here in Ondo State. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, Dr. Lucky Orimiso Ayedatiwa. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I will still invite you, Your Excellency, to declare open now the ministerial session.
I hereby declare this 69th edition of the Technical and Ministerial Section open for deliberation.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We really appreciate you. Let me recognize the rectors from the Federal Ministry of Education, Director, Universal Education, Mrs. Rekiya Ilyasu Gambo, Dr. Mrs. Zuba, Director, Colleges of Education, Director, Polytechnic and Allied Institution, Dr. Usman A.J. We also have with us the Executive Chairman, Benue Subeb, Dr. Grace Adagba. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually come to the end of the opening ceremony of the ministerial session of the
highlighted
69th
new
National
digital
Council
systems to track
on
data
Education.
and
We
performance
thank you
in
all
schools,
for being
especially
part
tertiary
of
institutions,
this particular
while
ceremony.
assuring Nigerians
Shall
of
we
continued
rise up?
reforms to strengthen teaching, learning, and research. And the minister also restated government's resolve to maintain industrial harmony and reposition Nigerian universities to meet global standards. He also mentioned the mother tongue to be introduced in our schools.
To serve Nigeria with all my strength, to defend her unity, and uphold her honor and glory. So help me God. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.
Yes, you're still listening to our station, so you're still watching our television station, talking about Osrc, and of course, Orange 94.5 FM and Sunshine 96.5 FM, Alalaye, and this is the outside broadcast live at the 69th National Council of Education (NCE) meeting, happening live at the Culture and Event Center, the Dome, Alagbaka in Akure. Right now, there's a little recess. Just a little break before they go into the deliberation of the policies on ground today. So please keep listening to us and keep watching our station. And of course, go to our Facebook page, that is OSRC TV, and also Orange 94.5 FM on Facebook. There you can watch us and you can also see what is going on right here at the Culture and Event Center, the Dome in Akure.
ó ṣeun wo ní ayé nígbàdà gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti lérè wípé gbogbo ohun tó bá ti ń lọ ní dome náà ni ẹ mọ̀ láǹfààní láti mọ̀ wò lórí tẹlifíṣàn wa tí ẹ tún mọ̀ láǹfààní láti mọ̀ gbọ́ wa lórí rédíò wa méjèèjì yẹn náà ni Sunshine 96.5 alálàyé àti Orange 94.5 tí ń bẹ ní oríta ọ̀bẹ̀lẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti sọ gómìnà wa nípínlẹ̀ Ondo ọ̀mọ̀wé Lucky Orimisan Ayédàtiwa wọ́n ti ṣíde àpérò eléyìí tó jẹ́ ti àwọn lámìtọ́ nídìí ẹ̀kọ́ ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kọkàndé ní àádọ́rin èrò rẹ̀ lẹ́yìn náà ni àwọn tí ó wà ní ìgbọ́nu ìṣàkóso ètò ẹ̀kọ́ tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí í ya fọ́tò nìkan òòjọ́ kan ní kété tí abala àkọ́kọ́ yìí bá ti lọ tán á láǹfààní kí a túmọ̀ tẹ̀síwájú ní orí ètò yìí gbogbo yín la kí o níbi yòówù tí ètò yìí tí ẹ bá láǹfààní láti mọ wò wá tàbí kí ẹ mọ gbọ́ wá bí ẹ̀gbá ní gbàgbé a ṣe àlàyé lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn wípé ọlọ́lá gómìnà wa ó ti ń jáde pẹ̀lú àwọn lókọ̀lókọ̀ nínú ìṣèjọba ní àsìkò tí a wà yìí bẹ́ẹ̀ bí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ń wò wá ọpẹ́ pàtàkì lọ́wọ́ yín ẹ ṣé gan ni.
Yeah, you're still listening and still watching the outside broadcast of the 69th National Council of Education NCE meeting happening live at the Cultural and Event Center, the Dome in Akure. Earlier, before now, we had the opening speech coming from talking about Professor Ibekele Amos Ajibe from the Commissioner for Education, Science and Technology in Ondo State at the opening of the summit. Well, he expressed delight and honor that Ondo State is hosting the 69th National Council on Education NCE, emphasizing the state's readiness and pride in this national educational gathering. Reaffirmed the state government's commitment to continuous support and partnership with educational stakeholders, including NGOs, development partners, and institutions, in order to advance access to quality education, especially in underserved areas. And he also acknowledged that transforming education requires collaboration, innovation, and alignment with state policy, signaling that the ministry is ready to work closely with all actors to implement reforms and improvements within Ondo education sector. And after that, we heard the speech of the Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Alausa, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to transparency and accountability in the education sector. He highlighted new digital systems to track data and performance in schools, especially tertiary institutions, while assuring Nigerians of continued reforms to strengthen teaching, learning, and not just that alone, and research. The minister also restated government's resolve to maintain industrial harmony and reposition Nigerian universities to meet global standards. And I also said, well, he mentioned the mother tongue to be introduced in our schools, saying it's very, very important. We introduced that. Well, he said it will be deliberated on after this time out. And of course, we also heard from we also heard from Professor Shuaibu Said Ahmed, the Minister of State for Education. So right now with me, I have the chairman of ASUS standing right beside me to tell us what he feels about this 69th convention that we have today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like you rightly said, I'm the chairman of Academic Staff Union of Secondary Schools on this chapter. It's a good one, bringing the guests in the education sector to come and deliberate on the future of education in Nigeria. Policies do change from time to time, and they are trying to sieve out the proper policies that we use to run the education sector in Nigeria. And we welcome the Honorable Minister, Mr. Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Atiwa, for the success of this deliberation. They just finished an arm of it now. They are going to a technical session to further speak and also look at position papers, look at memos that want to shape the education system in Nigeria. Largely borders on the Almajiri system and out of school system, students in Nigeria today. The minister spoke in his address. The address was very robust, and he spoke about the scholarship for students, other facilities that has been done by the government of our own president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So it's a good one, and we look forward to further better deliberations during the day as the day unfolds. Okay, thank you.
Now, before you go, the minister, talking about Minister of Education, Mr. Olatunji Alausa, mentioned something earlier when he was talking. He said, introducing mother tongue into the curriculum would be something good. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a welcome development?
Yes, it's a welcome development. But what we have always been saying is that they should now improve on capacity building for teachers who are going to teach these subjects with their mother tongue. But basically, English language still remains the general language to be used. But this mother tongue is a welcome development by my association. Then let me quickly say this too, that government should also try further. Though the minister spoke about the welfare of teachers, they should continue to ensure that the welfare of teachers are properly taken care of. Because no matter the type of infrastructure you have, if you don't have good, satisfied teachers, you cannot go anywhere. As no nation can rise above the level of its education. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. The chairman of ASUS in understand. Thank you very much. All right, now right beside me, I also have the Commissioner for Health, and he's here.
Commissioner for
Education, Technology, Mr. Ajibefo is here, and he's going to tell us what he thinks about this National Council of Education meeting that started on Monday up till now. What can you say about it?
Okay, thank you very much. This National Council on Education meeting that is happening this week, it is a very important meeting because it comprises of a policy-making body. Yes, the Minister for Education and all the commissioners from the 36 states, including the permanent secretary from the Ministry of Education. It is the highest policy-making body on education. So the body will be taking very critical decisions on policy reforms in education. So the meeting is a very important one, as we know that without education, no society can develop, and decisions that will be taken at this meeting will be decisions that will definitely affect the education sector in Nigeria, both at the elementary level up to the tertiary level. Thank you.
All right, now what can we say about the usual strike they have in universities, even with the one that they had recently? What can you do, or what do you think can be done to take that, to rectify that, and to take it out of our society?
Okay, thank you very much. As we all know, the strike, particularly in our university system, has really affected the system in a negative way over the years. What we can do to come out of this is for both sides, the government and the unions, ASU, to really come up with sincerity, with sincere mind to negotiate. Strike will not solve any problem, but we rather complicate it. Negotiation will be the way out to resolve all the issues, negotiations and agreement. It is a matter of give and take. Yes, with that spirit, I believe we come out of the crisis.
Okay, just before you go from
yes.
education,
Yes.
the thing is, talking about the rural communities now.
Yeah.
We talk about digital learning and that. How do you feel this can be done with those in the rural environment and rural areas? Because the minister mentioned this, that with time, after this year, that WAEC will be written, will be done with CBT and all of
Yeah.
that. How do you feel, or what do you think can be done for those in the rural?
Thank you. We have to give equal access to children both in the rural and urban center. And with technology today, I think that should not be a difficulty with solar power. Yes, solar installation, when they are installed in all this rural area, they can have access to internet services and electricity. I believe, although at the beginning there might be some challenges, which can electricity and
Commissioner of Education in the state, the talking about
very much. Yeah.
àtọ ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa mo lérò pé ẹ ti gbọ́ ìfọ̀rọ̀wérọ̀ pẹ̀lú komisanna fẹ́tò ẹ̀kọ́ àti ìmọ̀ sáyẹ́nsì ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ìgbẹ́kẹ̀lé Ajébẹ̀fún oníyàn ti sọ ipa tí gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo tí wọ́n ti kó níkan òjọ̀kan lórí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo bí ẹ bá nígbàgbé lánàá náà ni gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo tó fi owó kún àwọn ọmọ akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ bíbí ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo sí ẹgbẹ̀rún lọ́nà ọgọ́rùn-ún náírà bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn ní gbọ̀ngàn dome ní ọjọ́ tòní kádúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn olókolókọ tí wọ́n bá fi èjì kún ẹ̀ta ní orí ètò yìí kámú láti ọ̀dọ̀ Samson lẹ́kùrà wípé iṣẹ́ lẹ̀ ṣe ní ọjọ́ tòní bákan náà ládúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìbùkún náà IBK pé iṣẹ́ náà làwọn náà ṣe ní ọjọ́ tòní gbogbo ẹ̀yin ayàwòrán wa ọpẹ́ pàtàkì lọ́wọ́ yín o gbogbo àwọn náà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ń gbé sísàlẹ̀ lódì kejì lọ́hùn gbogbo yín náà ní àdúpẹ́ náà ní ọwọ́ yín wípé ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ arábìnrin ọlákùnkọ́ àti ìrètí àdèwé ẹ̀mí ẹ̀lẹ̀ gbogbo yín náà ní àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín wípé ẹ ṣé ní ọkọ̀ tèmi àti fún yín wúmi ó yá súnmọ́ bí.
All right, this is the time we have to say thank you very much for being a part of this program today. Yes, that happened live here at the Culture and Event Center, the Dome in Alagbaka, Akure. I want to say thank you very much for watching our stations, talking about the Osrc TV, and also our radio stations, Orange 94.5 FM and Alalaye Sunshine 96.5 FM. On behalf of the production crew and all the OB crew, want to say thank you very much, and we want to say please keep watching our station Osrc TV and our radio stations Orange 94.5 FM and Sunshine 96.5 FM. My name is Oyewumi Ayinigbara, and don't you forget to also go to our Facebook page, that is Osrc TV, and also Orange 94.5 FM Akure. Thank you, and do enjoy the rest of your day.